guys, it's Mono. How's everyone doing? Good, 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 I hope. I'm really excited to be doing this video. I'm going to start by saying that a year ago I, on the off chance, happened to meet a perfumer called D.L Roelen. Smelled his perfumes, immediately fell in love with them. They really stuck out to me as a reviewer and fragrance lover. If you're a fragrance lover, you will know you try a lot of fragrances, and it's only so often that one really jumps out at you and sticks out from the swathes of mediocre things that you have to kind of wade through to get to the good stuff. And I can finally talk about them. David very kindly sent me some stuff to talk about, and I want to talk about them because I'm a huge fan. So first of all, thank you, David. You know I'm a fan of your perfumes. Today I'm talking about Flower Boy, which is my favorite from the line. I will be doing a review of Broken Bouquet as well, and then I'll be doing a spotlight on the entire line and digging a little bit deeper into the brand. But for now, I want to talk about Flower Boy. Oh my gosh, so good. So there's 5 fragrances in the line. They come in 50ml bottles like this. They look black, but they are actually cobalt blue, in fact. And Flower Boy is the only extrait de parfum in the entire collection. It's a 30% strength, so it's really got some whack. And I remember when I spoke to David at the time, because Flower Boy really stuck out to me. We had a little chat, and he did say that he wanted to create like a chypre floral with men in mind. It's his challenge to modern masculinity, but don't let that make you think that it's a masculine fragrance, because it isn't. Can safely tell you it is straight down the middle when it comes to being unisex. It can go either way, and when you see the note list you will understand. So he's created a woody chypre fragrance that is ultra modern. His brand is very, very edgy. It's very cool. It is not of the norm. I would even go so far as to say it's avant-garde, and that's the kind of stage that I'm at in my fragrance journey. I'm looking for those fragrances that have that something, and all of his do. So be prepared for me to wax lyrical a little bit. But for now, let me tell you the note list of Flower Boy. His note lists are fantastic. They're very succinct, they're very to the point, and each of them contains a couple of things that are surprising, which I really like. So the top notes of Flower Boy are Rose Absolute, Marigold, and Hinoki wood, which, if you didn't know, is Japanese cedar wood. It's what they use to create their saunas, I think. I learned that somewhere, I can't remember where. The heart notes are geranium, gardenia, and patchouli, and the base notes are tobacco, sandalwood, and birch tar. So you can already see here that there's a mix of traditionally feminine florals like gardenia, you know, a big bombastic white floral with tobacco and tar and dark things. So I'm going to spray it on. I've worn this so many times now, so I'm finally ready to talk about it. Gosh, every time I spray this, I just, it's so good. I actually went to the launch event of David's perfumes in London, and the entire event smelled of this perfume. I don't know whether that was intentional or not, but the whole event space smelled of this. So it's the one that's got the most memory for me already, and it's also the one that I loved at the beginning. So, how does it smell? Ooh, okay, so the opening to me is the best part. What I smell here is a combination of greenery. I smell something that's a bit like snapped stems. It's very plush, and it's actually leathery at the same time as well. It's a woody green leathery smell, and having said that, the leathery part is not like any leather I've smelled before. The greenery is not like anything I've ever smelled before. It's not a galbanum, it's nothing like that. It's an entirely new greenery to my nose. This is why I love it so much. And the woody part is great also. It's not too in your face. So everything here is kind of, I guess I want to say blanketed, because there is a softness to it as well. This isn't an in-your-face fragrance. You would think so from the florals that are chosen, from the tar, from things like that, but what you get first is a leathery green smell. And the leather here isn't like leather jacket, it's not like leather boots, it's not that kind of leather. It's almost touching on being suede-y a little bit. So it's a gentle leatheriness that isn't animalic. Oh my gosh, it's so edgy. That's the best word I can use to describe this entire brand, guys. It's got an edge, it's different. Winner. So even though this is called Flower Boy and there are some very big florals in there, it never feels super flowery. I know that sounds a bit strange, but everything here is so blended perfectly, and I get so many different things from it. This fragrance has really thrown me for a loop every time I've smelled it, from a year ago to today. Sometimes I get even chocolatey nuances from it. Patchouli sometimes can give you that little edge of chocolate. It doesn't smell like a gourmand, I'm not saying that, but in there I get little hints of what could be cocoa sometimes, but mainly I get a suedey, leathery, stemmy green fragrance with subdued florals, and the uniqueness is off the charts. Awesome. Side note, all of you Germany guys that watch me, I know that there's a lot of you out there because I look at my analytics. Go and check his website out. I'm going to put a link in the description below. And everyone else too. I mean, why not? It's free for all. So this stage stays pretty much like that for, I would say, 2 hours, where it's at full projection. It's kind of enveloping. There's a thickness to it, this one. It's not petally, it's got depth, and it's got weight, and it's got whack, but never overbearing. That's the thing. It manages to be strong and powerful and bold, but it's not, I'm wearing 50 sprays of perfume. It's just perfection. Oh gosh, I mean, the use of marigold here is perfect as well. Marigold to me is a flower that you don't really see in perfumes that much. I can imagine as a perfumer it's quite hard to work with, but in here it's placed very well. And before I talk about the drying stages, I want to talk about the birch tar. I've worked with birch tar before when trying to create fragrances, and I can tell you that it's the devil. I mean, it's one of the most intense materials ever. You have to dilute it to within an inch of its life to even be able to use it. It's a hyper smoky nuance, it's a hyper smoky material, but it is used in the leather accord a lot of times in perfume, and David has managed to place it so perfectly in this fragrance where there is just an element of smoke. I mean, he calls it a smoky floral in a garage. That's kind of his descriptor, and in here it's the amount that he's used is sheer perfection. It gives just enough of an edge without being that kind of bonfire smell. Beautiful. It's in there with some tobacco as well, giving a more softer woody nuance. So you do have somewhat an element of powder going on as well. Powdery green, woody leather. That's the only way I can describe it. A little bit soft in places, and the florals are so mingled in that you wouldn't immediately think that it's a flowery perfume, but it kind of is. So about 4 or 5 hours into it, all of the kind of leathery greenness goes away, and this is where you start to get more of a woody thing happening. There is a stage at around the 6 or 7 hour mark on me where patchouli kind of rushes to the forefront, and I can really feel it then. It's really got that kind of chypre-like quality. This is ultimately a chypre, but it's a really, really modern one. There's no oak moss in here, and do you know what else? No citruses, yay! So as I said, yeah, patchouli does rush to the forefront for about half an hour, but when you get to the dry down, oh my gosh, I was smelling the dry down. I mean, yesterday, for instance, I put it on at 9 o'clock, and at 7 o'clock in the evening, I was still smelling it on my hand as well, and I had washed my hands quite a lot, because, you know, Corona. The dry down is where you start to feel sandalwood. The fragrance becomes a little bit more sultry, if I can say that. It's not really seductive, come here and kiss me, because it's way too edgy for that. But once the sandalwood comes into play, there is an element of sultriness, because sandalwood just gives that to a fragrance. It's a little bit gentle, and you know, just a little bit of tenderness comes out. You can still feel some of the greenery and stuff from the beginning, but really it becomes a little bit sharper, a little bit more sultry, and the drying stages are just as beautiful or as cool as the opening, I think. It's a chameleon, it's a windy road, and every time I smell it, I mean, I could probably do this review again and find other things to talk about, but I have to do it because it's been long enough. It's been a year, guys. It's been a year. So, following on from that, longevity, amazing. This is an extrait. I was still smelling it at 8, 9 o'clock in the evening. Of course, not projecting massively, but it's still there. It sticks onto your skin really, really well. So, I'm gonna leave it there. I would say stellar. I mean, I've not tried anything like this, and I can't stress that enough. So, I'm gonna review another one by him, and then I can't wait to do the spotlight. For now, This is my review of Flower Boy, and I love the name as well. Flower Boy by D.L Roelen from Berlin. Guys, go and check him out, honestly. The link will be in the description. Go and check out his fragrances. Expect more from me on this one. Anyway guys, I'm Ouch Momono, trying to make the world smell better, one video at a time. I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.